Hello, it's time to do some more puzzles. Free knight, but I guess we're hanging a rook on c2. Okay, but just look at all the stuff that all pieces are doing. Our bishop on a3 is attacking their c8 rook. Their knight is attacking our queen and our rook. And even if we take the knight with either the pawn or the bishop, they can take on c2 with their rook. So we just have to figure out which combination of things we can do will win some material. Their king looks pretty safe. So it doesn't seem like there's any mating attack or anything. So a lot of the play just seems to be along this c file and this knight that's hanging. And we have two bishops versus their two minor pieces, so it's looking like, yeah, we just gotta figure out how to take the knight. Or I guess taking the rook on c8 would just be a blunder because the knight could take the queen. Does rook take c7 make sense at all? I think that, well, let's say rook takes c7, knight takes d5, rook takes c8. Then the queen has to move, and then we take the knight on the next move. That's kind of winning material, even though we don't have a queen anymore. We do get two rooks and a knight, which should be winning. And so what else can we even look at to make sure? Like, can we eliminate some of the other tries that we might do? Well, I think we already said bishop takes c8, they just take the queen. If we just take the knight with either piece, they just take on c2. And yeah, it doesn't seem to be anything. Now, if we do rook takes c7 first, and they take back with their rook, then we can just take the knight. And then if they take on c1, we can recapture with the bishop, so we should be okay there. Let's see if I can even remember what the first move we're talking about. It's like rook c7, and then after knight takes, which I'm expecting, we take on c8, getting the tempo on the queen, and then with the plan to recapture the knight. Now we could, after rook c8, look at all the moves that the queen can make and make sure that we're going to be okay, but it doesn't look like there are any checks. The center's kind of closed off, so I'm pretty confident in rook takes c7, so we'll see if I'm right. Alright, so they took here. Now we have to be careful. We don't want to take on c7 in this variation, I don't think. So we would just lose the queen. And also, now it's clear, you don't want to take with the bishop because then you allow this c1 check. So we have to take with the pawn so that if they take on c1, we could take back with the bishop. And so they did do that, and now we can take with the bishop. Okay, so go to analysis board. The tag for that puzzle was counting. So yeah, it's really just trying to find out how to win the material there. Like, it was clear to me from the start that it wasn't going to be much of a checkmating pattern or anything. So first mistake is a takes b4, played 172 times. Let's see. So this, and yeah, this I didn't like, because after rook takes, say you take and then you take, then you're just losing. So you're down material. I got a tempo on this guy. Yeah, it just allowed something like that wasn't that good. 1b takes b4, played 69 times. Okay, so bishop takes, which fails for the exact same reason, I believe. Although without a tempo on the bishop, but you just count up the material and you see that white is struggling. Yeah, they do have like these pawns in the center, but and the bishop pair for what it's worth. Sometimes bishop pair is useful against some positions where they have a rook, but in this situation, black is doing okay. They should easily win this. And 2 rook takes c7. Okay, so here they hung the queen, it looks like. So after this, they just take, and then you can take back. They can take here, tempo on that. And maybe you want to try to do something like this to win some material back. But they can actually go a5 here. But there's another move, so I think, okay, so the computer's saying they could go here. And let's say you go here. We need 3 check. Oh, so maybe they can get some perpetuals or just do something. But yeah, but the computer's saying this position is a draw. So you didn't want to give this queen up. So at this point, just taking here ensures that you win some material. So that's kind of why that's very critical. And only 6 times was bishop takes b4 played here. I would expect this to be a more common mistake on this move. But people went for the rook and then lost the queen and ended up in this even position. Okay, so we'll do another one. Alright, now the king looks a little more unsafe, but our king also looks more unsafe. Queen has some tension with their queen. I see for them queen f7, and then they might be checkmating in a couple moves. So we don't want to do anything that's not that forcing. Plus, they're attacking our queen 3 different ways, and our queen is unprotected. This rook is hanging on h7. But like the pawn can take the queen, rook can take the queen, queen can take the queen. We're also threatening their knight here. We also have ideas like knight a3 check, trying to open things up, but maybe that's too slow because, as I said, queen f7 could be deadly. We have to be careful of, so I guess this is a time where I'd want to count the material to see if just taking that rook is enough to be okay. It would also stop their queen f7 ideas. So we have 3 minor pieces, they have 3 minor pieces, we got 2 rooks, okay. Looks about even. And even the pawns, yeah, we're good. So the question is, what's wrong with queen takes h7? And that I don't know. Don't know. I mean, maybe there's also ideas like queen takes f1 and then a takes b3. Like, I feel like that's also winning some material. Maybe one of these is an alt, I don't know. But it seems like just taking the rook is good enough. Also, sometimes you look at the drawback of the opponent's move, because the opponent's last move will always be a move that created a tactical situation generally. Not all the time, but a lot of times in ChessTempo, you'll notice that that is the case if you look at it in hindsight. And so them moving this rook to an unprotected square, maybe that's the point, you just take it. And it would just be a hanging piece tag. There's been some pretty high rated puzzles where the point is just to take the hanging piece. And I think a lot of people second guess themselves and don't go for it, but which is what I'm doing. But I might end up picking it. I want to make sure that there's no mating attacks, nothing else we're doing here on the, I guess, still the queen's side, although the king's castled over there now. did a long castle. Okay, so our queen is attacked. Look, like, we do have to do something about it. So the question is, do we take the queen and then take the knight, or just take the rook? I kind of like the simplifying nature of taking the queen first, if it worked. But, okay, I'm going to take the rook, and I'm just quickly going to look what forcing moves do they have after. I don't see it. I'm taking the rook. Alright, so they took the knight. We have a knight? Yeah. So now another situation. Do we take the bishop on g4? Do we take the knight on b3? Doesn't matter. I think it probably does. If we take the knight on b3, they have bishop d7 check. We can't move to the f file because of their queen, and if we go to d8, then we allow discovery bishop f5, winning our queen. So we actually have to take the bishop. And because like I only had it narrowed down to those two moves, so when I could eliminate the pawn takes knight, I just immediately played taking the bishop since I felt that's what it was. And yeah, so hanging piece was one of the tags. Go to analysis board. Okay, so queen takes f1 on move 1, played 300 times. Right, so I was considering this. Let's see why it wouldn't work. So rook takes f1, a takes b3, a takes, and knight d6. h5. I'm guessing, I was going to say eventually maybe they're doing something like this, but our knight's defending that square right now. So I'm not exactly sure. Like, I still feel like, yeah, it's still, like, black has an advantage here, but it's not like a winning advantage. It's clearly not as good as the other line, but it's like plus 1.2. But yeah, in comparison to the other line, it's clear that this isn't. I mean, I guess. I feel like I'd still be okay playing this as black, but maybe not. I don't know, it was tough to decide. Well, it was clear, but like if taking the rook works, then taking the rook is clearly better. I accidentally canceled out of that. But if taking the rook is better, like here, then it's clear that you just want to go for this. But I was curious about this since it felt like it was still winning. But yeah, I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Because like you really just have to see that the rook is hanging and that you'll be okay, and then you would know to do that over simplifying and then getting slightly less material, which gives them more chances in a way. Now, a takes b3 on move 2, played 72 times. Okay, so they took the knight here, and yeah, the problem is bishop d7, you can't go here because of this. So you have to go here, and then bishop f5. Oops. Again. Almost did it the third time. But yeah, so they get the queen. Because you're in check. Oh, how did that happen? Okay. And let's see. Queen takes c2 on move 1, 67 times. Where's c2? Oh. Okay, so they just went full sacrifice mode. I don't know if the point was to try to do something like this, which doesn't work. Rook could take, or bishop could take here. Well, I guess then this rook takes, but still the rook can take back at the end, or this bishop could take back at the end. And actually, yeah, the computer moved his knight here. Then bishop takes, b1. And actually, bishop d7 here. And then pick up that guy. Does it make a difference? Like, are we much better if they just take here? No, it's looking like it's even if you do this. But if white goes for this, then they're winning by quite a bit. So it's that same pattern where, although you can go here, I guess, but then you allow this check and capture. So yeah, it's not as good. Oh, this knight has been hanging for a while. I don't know if I played the best moves. I was playing mostly the computer's top suggestions here. Okay, I think that was everything. Yeah, queen takes c2 was just the third most common mistake. Surprisingly, I'm not exactly sure. Oh wait, what if they were trying to bring the analysis board back up? Actually, I don't know. I was thinking maybe they were trying to recapture here with check for some reason, but I don't really see any, like, there's no fork to try to, like, well, yeah, everything's defending this square. So yeah, I don't understand the queen move as much, but anyway, hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.